Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the online class. Today's topic is criminal enjoyment. So, criminal enjoyment means the enjoyment while standing on the death queue. That is criminal enjoyment. One of the class Prabhupada explained about the criminal enjoyment, that how we are so foolish, how we are so stupid that we have the we are all standing on the death queue at the same time, so we're trying to enjoy. So that is called criminal enjoyment. So we have the 429 53 verse. So we'll go through these beautiful verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. It says that how we are enjoying, but we do not have idea that um, we have been threatened by the death in all sides, in all directions. So before we start the discussion, we have to we offer our Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजानसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदं सवनललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावने श्री वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुवैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यः नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are discussing today the criminal enjoyment. Yes, so I will show you one of the beautiful verses from the Mahabharata. It describes the precarious condition of the human form of life. See in this beautiful So we will discuss on this particular things. So you can see here this how this criminal enjoyment. You can see here the pictures that how the person is in a very precarious situations. So in this material world, it is said that a common man we are stuck in this precarious situation of the material world samsara. Death is elephant chasing us continuously, and it will not leave us. And the black and white rays represent night and day respectively, and they are slowly reducing our age. The hissing snakes represents the obstacles in life. Honey bees represents the day-to-day problems we face in our life. The sweet honey represents the pleasure of the world and its myriad form. So here we can see that in Mahabharata it is stated that so in the living entity in this material world is very precarious situation. So everybody is seeking for the enjoyment. Somebody is seeking for the enjoyment through the business. Somebody is seeking from the enjoyment through the different various department, various process, various way, by singing, by dancing, by working, and by so many way. So this enjoyment is because of this enjoying spirit, enjoying idea, that makes us to come down to this material world at our risk. So Krishna is very merciful. Man proposes, God disposes. So we want to enjoy separately from Krishna. So Lord created this material world, and for our enjoyment, but at our risk. It's like it's like a criminal enjoyment. Why criminal enjoyment? Supposing a person who has transgresses the law of God, a law of country, and he goes to the jail. In jail, if he thinks that I am going to enjoy and I am enjoying, that is called criminal enjoyment. Actually, that enjoyment is illusory. That enjoyment is maya. That enjoyment is very transient, very ignorant. So this criminal enjoyment means we are enjoying while standing on a death queue. That is due to the unaware of the fact of impending death. So therefore it is called criminal enjoyment. So every one of us, we are on the death queue actually. So here it is said that in this particular verses in Mahabharata, it says that common men stuck in the precarious situation of this material world samsara, death, that is represents elephant. You can say in the picture that elephant is chasing us, because death is always chasing us. Every times, every moments it is chasing us relentlessly, imperceptibly, relentlessly it is approaching us, death. Every moment we are reducing our one moment of time. Every day we are reducing 1 day of our life. Every year we are reducing 1 year of our life. So it is say also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Ayur harati vai punsam udayashtanchanyashu tasya khenanatipi uttama sloka vrataya. There is a beautiful verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that every sunrise and sunset we are reducing 1 day of our life. Supposing I am going to live for 50 years or 100 years for that matter, I am going to next sunrise, I am reducing 1 day of our life. So that means we are reducing 1 day of our duration of life every sunrise. That means death is changing us imperceptibly every moment, every day, every year. Every breath is a death breath. Every breath is means we are losing one breath. So here it is said in Mahabharata that this elephant is like a chasing us, like a death is chasing us, and continuously, and it will not leave us. It's not like that we can bribe the death to go away, to escape from the death. No, that is not possible. We are all under the dew of under the mouth of crocodile, just like Gajendra. We have learned from the Srimad Bhagavatam beautiful Gajendra story. We should learn the lesson. It's not a story, it is a lesson, that how the king Gajendra was very happy with family. He was not an ordinary elephant. He was a elephant of the heavenly elephant, and he is the king. Gajendra is the king. And the king, when he went with to in a pond, material pond, and to take bathing and playing the sports, water sports, that time he was caught by a crocodile, and he was so helpless condition. He was fighting with crocodile to escape, but could not escape. He was trying. He was asking his own relatives, own friends, and nobody could protect. That was very precarious situation of the elephant. We are also like an elephant. We are all in a material pond, and we are caught by the crocodile mouth, crocodile jaws. Crocodile is the time of crocodile. We are all caught by the jaw of crocodile of time of crocodile. And every time, just like a crocodile pulls the leg, crocodile, how they eat like this, eat like slowly, one by one, moment by moment. Similarly we all are under the jaw of time, irrepressible time, and we are reducing our life. We are moving forward to death, impending death, and we have no idea of that. And it was a continuous process. So death is always. chasing us continuously. Not only that, it is said that death is not so pleasing. It is always unpleasant. The fear of death always, unpleasant. So just like elephant was very, very helpless condition, very precarious condition. We are all precarious condition. And it is said that it will the black and white rats represent the night and day respectively. Day and night, you can see on the tree the two rats are there, red and black, and that means day and night. And the branch where we are hanging, that means we are in samsara, we are hanging on the branch and being chased by the death, and that branch also was caught by the two rats. That is called day and night. That means every day and night, that reducing our duration of life, reducing our existence in this material life. That means it was we are making forward towards the death. So that is our precarious condition. That means we all are in a very precarious condition. And not only that, the hissing snakes represent the big obstacle in life. So everybody undergoing so much obstacles in life, sometimes psychological, financial problems, psychology problems, so many things, so many problems. Adhyatmik, Adidaivik, these are the concomitant. They are the default miseries we are facing day to day life. It is stated in beautiful verses. I can show you the beautiful verses here. This 4:26:5, that how. See, this is the beautiful verses in 5:14:25. You can see here, it is stated that being unable to protect himself from the threefold miseries of material existence, the conditioned soul become very morose and lives a life of lamentation. The threefold misery are miseries suffered by mental calamity and the hands of demigods, such as freezing wind, scorching heat, miseries offered by other living entity, and miseries arising from the mind and body themselves. So we are always in a very, very precarious condition. Any moment, just like Gajendra, he was very happy playing with all his relatives. He was the king, and just a minute, he was caught by the crocodile of time, and he was now in a very precarious condition. He is crying out, "Oh, how to escape? How to escape?" Just like Draupadi and Gajendra, the stories are more or less parallel. Draupadi was a queen. Actually, he was very influential. He was very powerful. She was the queen of Pandavas, and all of a sudden, and she she was disrobed, she was asked to disrobe, she was ordered to disrobe, and that was quite dishonoring for any woman in the assembly of Kuruseva, where their seniors are there, her father, grandfathers are there, and she was being asked to disrobe, she was being ordered to disrobe, she was being forced to disrobe. That was very, very dishonoring. Very dishonoring. Just elephant also, he was a king, and it was dishonoring for him that he was very helpless condition, and a king is supposed to protect others, but in that helpless condition, Gajendra is asking everyone, please help me. This is very dishonoring. So therefore, they are all very precarious situation. So we are all in a very precarious situation. We do not know, we are all very, any moment we can be anything can be changed. Any moment actually. Any moment everything can be changed. So we are always in a very precarious situation, because the very subjective nature, the innate intrinsic nature of this material world is always troublesome and temporary. Krishna says that dukkhalayam asasatam. Not only is troublesome, it is also temporary. We are trying to be there, struggle, like Gajendra is struggling, Draupadi is struggling, they are struggling, they are trying to protect themselves. Draupadi is trying to protect, he is asking protection from others, superiors, their husband, and he himself trying to protect, but could not do that, because it's very difficult. Maya is very difficult. The problem with devotees that they are not enough afraid of Maya. Maya is so difficult. Daivai Isa Gunama, insurmountable. So therefore, one should be very cautious and careful, because this kind of so-called enjoyment is impregnated with all kind of troublesome. That is what material nature. Material nature is this is like a far distant. It is very good, but where it is really really troublesome. It always impregnated with lot of misery. One time Prabhupada was going in a beach side, walking actually morning walk. Then he saw a beautiful beach in America, I think, and the disciple they say, Prabhupada, look at that magnificent beach. Yes, 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 very magnificent, but in a distance it looks very beautiful, very magnificent, but if you go down, if you go near, it will pull down you. Therefore when you come in contact with Maya, this material nature, although it look very durasaya bahirarthamanina, outwardly it is dazzling, but it is so dangerous, so dangerous. It will devour us, it will kill us. Anywhere you go there. The Maya factor is always, because whole material existence is the kingdom of Maya. Actually, we are living in a kingdom of enemy, Maya, influence of Maya. So we have to very, very careful. Otherwise, we are very much prone to be defeated. We are very much likely to be defeated by him. We are very much likely to be subjugated by Maya. One time Prabhupada went to Florida, one place called Miami, one place is that Florida. So Prabhupada said Miami, one place is there. Prabhupada said that Maya is everywhere, either is Florida or it is in France or it is in Faridabad. Everywhere the Maya is there. Maya never leaves us. Then this material world is so precarious. So in order to and there is a beautiful verses in this regard in 429:53 in Bhagavatam. It is said that so you can see here these beautiful verses. My dear king, please search out the deer who is engaged in eating grass in very nice flower garden along with his wife. The deer is very much attached to his business. He is enjoying the sweet singing of the bumblebees in his garden. Just try to understand his position. He is unaware that before him is a tiger who is accustomed to living at the cost of the another place. Behind deer is hunter who is threatening to pierce him with the sharp arrows. Thus the deer death is imminent. So beautiful analogy given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Our position is like just a deer who is nicely in a garden, nicely with his wife, he's enjoying. Nice flower garden he's enjoying. And very much attached to his business, enjoying the sweet singing of bumblebees. We are in the material world, we are so much attached to our family life, our children, our business, and so much we are singing, hearing this Bollywood song, this song, and enjoying, dancing. But we have no idea that, we have, just like it is said that, just try to understand his position. He is unaware that before him is a tiger. The tiger is before him is there. And behind him is the hunter. And that deer's death is imminent. It's sure, inevitably he is going to die. So we have also this analogy actually applied for the human form of life. The very next verse it is said that our position is also like this. Behind us also death, and in front of also the death is there. It is stated in these beautiful verses. That our situation is just parallel to that deer who is, his position is such a precarious. So we also same thing here. It is stated that my dear king, woman who is very attractive in the beginning but in the end very disturbing, exactly like a flower which is attractive in the beginning, detestable at the end. The woman, the living entity, is entangled with lusty desire. He enjoys sex just as one enjoys aroma of the flower. He does enjoy a life of sense gratification from his tongue to his genitals. And in this way, living entity considers himself to be very happy in family life. United with his wife, he always remains absorbed in such thought. He feels great pleasure in hearing the talks of his wife children, which are like a sweet humming of bumblebees that collect honey from flower to flower. He forgets that before him is the time which is taking away his lifespan with passing day and night. He does not see the gradual diminishing of his life, nor does he care about the superintendent of death who is trying to kill him from behind. Just try to understand this. You are in a precarious position, are threatened from all the sides. See, this is the beautiful analogy is given, that how the human being is so foolish, unaware of the fact that before us the death is waiting, day and night is plundering our duration of life, and behind the death is awaiting for us how to capture us. So we are in a very precarious situation, but due to our ignorance, we are trying to enjoy with our wife, children, and so on and so forth, society, community, country, without understanding our impending death, without caring for all the things. That is quite what we say. It is quite foolishness. So materialistic life, Prabhupada has given a purport. Materialistic life means forgetting one's constitutional position as the eternal servant of Krishna. His forgetfulness is especially enhanced in the Grahastha ashrama. Particularly our constitutional position as the eternal servant of Krishna, that is already forgotten as soon as we come in contact with material existence. And that illusion and that ignorance, that forgetfulness is enhanced in Grahastha where we are so much absorbed, captivated by the family life, so much overwhelmingly attached in the family life and trying to become a happy. So that is the beginning of that is the beginning of our illusion. In this way, we become so much attached with Grahastha and we are pathetically entrapped in this material existence without finding the solution. So this so-called criminal enjoyment actually due to unaware of the fact that we are in a very precarious condition. We are in a very precarious condition. That's why this Mahabharata analogy, that how we are hanging on the branch and the tree total trunk was being attempted to uprooted by an elephant, just like a death. You want to uproot us totally. All our at the time of death, all our association, all our position, everything will be taken out. We cannot maintain the status quo. Therefore, human form of life is meant to understand this precarious situation, that our constitutional position, we are not meant to that. We are not meant to be threatened by the material existence. We are all in awkward position. Bhagavad Gita actually spoken for all the human race, because just like Arjuna was in very awkward position to understand his position, constitutional position. He was thinking, I am from this family, I am from that dynasty, so I should not fight. And he was predilecting his duty. He was not performing his duty. Karpani dosapata svabha dharma samudda chaitasa. He was karpani dosapupata. He do not know what is his duty. Being a Kshatriya, he was supposed to fight, but he was failing to fight. Similarly, we got this human form of life. We are supposed to do something else, something higher purpose, but we are so much entangled in this family complexity, in this so-called enjoyment, criminal enjoyment, that we have forgotten that we are going to be die. Everyone is condemned to death. It is stated in a beautiful process that everyone in this world is condemned to death. 11, 10, 20 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is very nice verses. It is said that everyone is condemned to death. Death is not at all pleasing, since everyone is exactly like a condemned man being led to place of execution. What possible happiness can people derive from material object or gratification they provide? They have no idea that we are all condemned to death, condemned to being led to the execution, place of execution. That means we are in a death queue. We are going to be slaughtered just like an animal on a death queue. They are going to be slaughtered one after one. We are also just, it's a matter of time. Today somebody, tomorrow somebody. So we are going to live. And what possible happiness can people derive? How we can be happy? Just like a deer munching a grass. If a tiger is in front of me, how can he munch the grass so happily? Because he knows that death is there, tiger will going to kill me. So therefore, if one is not aware of the fact, then he is in a very precarious position. If he is aware that, oh, this tiger is there, I should not waste my time munching the grass. So called criminal enjoyment, so called material enjoyment is a criminal enjoyment. So we do not know that we should not waste our time for this material pursuit of this material enjoyment. We should not waste our time of planning and scheming for all this material enjoyment. Rather, we should get out from it. We should try to find a solution to escape from this, escape from this precarious situation, escape from this predicament. That is the human form of life. It's meant for that, how to escape. So therefore it is said that death is not at all pleasing, we are condemned. So with the happiness, so-called happiness is, how can one can be happy unless he is fool actually, he is unaware of his impending death, imminent death. Kotu rajan indriyaban mukunda charanabujo na bhajete sarvatra murtu upashyam amratottamahi. Beautiful verses. This is 11:2 of Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear king, in this material world, the conditioned soul are confronted by death at every step of life. Every step, we do not know tomorrow what is going to happen. The next moment, what is going to be happen. Samasritet pada pallava plavam punyajasa murari. What is this? Padam padam yad vipadam. Every step is a vipadam. Every step is a dangerous in the material world. Full of danger. Just like elephant, the Gajendra. Gajendra was very happy. He was the heavenly elephant. He was king. He was a king of elephant. He was surrounded by so many entourage. But as soon as he entered into the pond, in a moment, his life was topsy-turvy. His life got reversal. So this material world is such a unpredictable place that any moment the death comes, any moment the unpleasant thing, unhappiness thing comes. Very obnoxious material world, very unpleasant. We do not know what is going to happen. Just like Draupadi was very happy, all of a sudden the things were so precarious, so complex, so dishonoring that she could not take it. Just raised the pen, oh Govinda, hey Krishna. Somehow she was saved by mercy of Krishna. So we will come to the solution, but now we should go discuss more about the problematic in different angles. See, here it is said that how we are condemned, how it is every step. Therefore, who among the conditioned soul would not render service to the lotus feet of Mukunda, who is worshipable even for the greatest of liberated soul. So who can now save us? Now we know that we are a very precarious condition. Every side we are being attacked, we are being threatened because of our non-existential atmosphere. We are living in a very non-existential atmosphere. That is the basic principle, that is the basic reason, that is the root cause of our suffering. Because of this body, because of this material existence, because of this birth, death, disease, old age, all this obnoxious misery, we are being threatened. So now the question is how to escape from this. So how to escape from this dire situation. It is one of the beautiful verses you can see here. It is in 425:6. It is stated that those who are interested only in so-called beautiful life, namely remaining as householder, entangled by the sons and wife and searching after wealth, think that such things are life's ultimate goal. Such people simply wander in different types of body throughout this material existence without finding out the ultimate goal of life. So this is the problem. We have those who are ignorant. Ignorant is no excuse. Sir, I am ignorant of the law, so I kill somebody. No, he won't be excused, he won't be forgiven. Similarly, those who are only interested in the so-called grahastha ashrama, this so-called family life, and so-called with their beautiful wife, householder things, and son, and entangled with son, wife, and searching after the wealth, Gruha Khetra Sutapta Biter, and thinking that these are the things is the aim of life. All these people, 99% of the people in this material life, material world is in this category, that they are only interested in the so-called beautiful life, no, remaining a householder entangled with wife, children, and thinking that money will bring such happiness. Money is the ultimate goal of life, not only to maintain the family but enjoy. you know so such people, it is said that they wander different types of body throughout the material existence without finding the ultimate goal of life. They wander from one species to another species, one aim to another. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani justare. So they are fleeing from one species to another species, one womb to another womb of mother. In this way, they are undergoing the repeated, obnoxious, repeated birth and death, just like a wheel pull, washing machine, wheel pull. They are going, birth rate, disease. They don't have any solution to come out. So this is their, they have no idea of this. They have no idea of all these things that they are going to, they are suffering for this. That is very precarious situation. A person who is suffering from cancer, if he has no idea that he is suffering for cancer, he is going to die soon actually, because without treatment. That is the position. It is stated in this beautiful verses that. So it is stated in this verse, beautiful verses, that how this situation is that this verse is 11:9. So it is stated that a man obsessed with the thought of what he thinks need to be done, intensely greedy, delighting in sense enjoyment, is suddenly confronted by you, who are ever alert, like a hungry snake licking its fang before a mouse, you appear before him as a death. See, people are so obsessed but have no idea that the Lord, as a time factor, he comes and comes and appear before him as a death and takes away all the things. So our condition is very very precarious condition. We are in a very very excruciating condition, that always attacked by the so-called A. And we are all our planning, um, all our planning is going to fail actually. It's doomed to fail. It is said that it is doomed to fail, doomed to be destruction. You can see here the beautiful verses. It is said that A purified soul should see that because of the conditioned soul who are dedicated to sense gratification have falsely accepted the object of sense pleasure as truth, all their endeavor doomed to be destruction. So all our so-called endeavor to counteract, we are scheming and planning everything to become happy in this material world is going to be fail. Is going to be fail. So-called enjoyment. All these kind of things like 11:3:18, it is beautifully stated that everything is going to be very failure actually, all our endeavor to happy. So Prabhupada said, accepting the roles of female in human society, the conditioned soul unite in sexual relationship, thus they constantly make their material endeavors to eliminate their unhappiness and unlimitedly increase their pleasure. But one should see they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes as they grow older, their material discomfort increases. Inevitably, anytime, inevitably it is. We are trying to, we are scheming, planning every moment, we are scheming, planning to become happy. We have so much aspirations, so much ambition. We are ambitious to enjoy this material world. But nam pramata kurute vikrama yadindriya piti apurnati. It is not going to be doomed to failure, doomed to be destruction. Mogo asa, mogo karma, mogo jnana vicheti. So all our so-called endeavor to become happy in this material world is going to be futile, utterly futile. That is the subjective nature of this material world. It will not allow you to become successful. That is the whole idea of Maya. Maya is the illusory. Everybody thinking I am happy in that particular species of life. A hog is happy because this Maya. This Maya is covering avaratmika, avaratmika. The two functions of what is avarana. Avarana means it covered. The covering influence of Maya, it covered the real knowledge. Therefore, everybody thinking I am happy. A hog is thinking I am happy. A dog is thinking I am happy. So everybody thinking happy. Therefore, it is called criminal enjoyment. Indra was very happy. He was caught as a hog. He was very happy. Even after his tenure of punishment is completed, Brahma came to Indra and asking, Sir, your things is finished now. Your tenure of punishment finished. Let us go back to heaven, and you will get you will be discharging your duty as a heavenly king. So he refused to go because he told, no, I am very happy in this hog's life. I have so many family. I have an extensive family, extended family. So I do not want to go. So our situation is like that. We are pathetically entrapped in this material condition of life. We are thinking we are very happy. We are so much attached. We do not know that all these are criminal. We are going to leave everything. It is stated that in this Canto 3 that how the person who is very pathetically die actually because of this attachment. In that diseased condition, one eyes balls due to pressure of air from within. His glands become congested with mucus. He has difficulty breathing. Upon exhaling, inhaling, he produces sound like grua rattling with a. So how it's at the time of old age, when death coming, how things are very precarious. And see, thus a man who engaged with uncontrolled sense in maintaining a family dies in great grief. Seeing his relative crying, he dies most pathetically in great pain without consciousness. See, that is the output of our material enjoyment. Therefore, it is called criminal enjoyment. This so-called enjoyment ends with a great distress, impregnated with great distress, great pain. It is say it is great pain. Therefore, it is called criminal enjoyment. This enjoyment is not real enjoyment. The so-called enjoyment is not real enjoyment. Therefore, to escape from this enjoyment, precarious situation, we have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. The solution is given in Bhagavatam that how to escape from the death queue. Actually, it is stated in very first verses where I quoted 2:3:17. It is stated that आयुर्हति वै पुंसाम उद्यान अष्टंचन्यसु तस्यर्थे क्षणनित्य उत्तम श्लोक वर्ताय. So by both rising and by setting sun decreases the duration of life of everyone except who utilizes the time by discussing the topics of all good personality of God. So, only for that person who is discussing the transcendental, wonderful pastime, nectarian pastime of the Lord. So, except for this person, all are on a death queue and they are going to die. That is the only solution to escape from the death, to engage in the service of the Lord, starting from glorifying the Lord, hearing about the Lord pastimes, wonderful pastime. So it is very directly it is stated in these beautiful verses. It is stated in this beautiful verse, the solution has been given, that how to escape from this precarious condition, from this the Supreme Personality of God. It is certainly not known to everyone, but He is very powerful and influential. Therefore, although the serpent of eternal time, which is fearful in force, endlessly chases everyone, ready to swallow him, if one who fears the serpent seeks shelter of the Lord gives him protection. For even death runs away from in fear of the Lord. I therefore surrender unto him, the great and powerful supreme authority, who is actual shelter of everyone. See, this beautiful verses 8 to 33. This Lord so is very powerful, very influential, and those who want to escape from this death, the serpent of the time, or from this death, so one has to seek shelter of the Lord, and He gives him the protection. Even the death run away from his fear. Everybody is fearing the Lord. Everybody is fearing actually. Bhati bhatoyam madabhayat bhati bhatoyam. Krishna himself said that madabhayat bhati bhatoyam madabhayat suryam tapati madabhayat indra varsati dhayati madabhayat dahyat pavaka dahati madabhayat murtum charati madabhayat. So out of my fear, all this air is coming, wind is blowing, sun is rising, all out of fear actually. So here death also fears of Lord. We are fearing death, but death fears. So when you take shelter of the Lord, so God, if we take shelter of the Lord, and Lord gives us protection, and the death runs away in fear of Lord. And it is really substantiated. Gajendra was about to killed actually, but he took shelter of the Lord. He took shelter of the Lord. He just took this lotus flower and he was praying the Lord. Lord say that whosoever offer little bit of flower, water, patram, pushpam, phalam, jomi bhaktya pravachati, tadham bhakti rupartam asnami. So he is offering this flower, the lotus flower, because Lord likes the lotus flower. Nama pankaja nabhaya, nama pankaja maline, nama pankaja netraya, namaste pankaja angraya. Lord is, everything is like a lotus flower, everything is like lotus, his eyes are lotus petal, lotus like petal, his abdomen is lotus here is his body is, his feet is like a lotus. So everything about the Lord is lotus like. Lotus is most beautiful, So therefore he offered the Lord with great love the lotus for the protection. When he surrendered to the Lord himself came. Not only he came, actually he was refused. His charioteer, no, I will go with, I do not want a charioteer, I will go with Garuda. And even he forgot to put his asana. He just like, immediately he wanted to be so much anxious. As soon as we surrender to Lord, oh my Lord, please help us. Simply by that process of surrendering, by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Govinda, Lord is so anxious, he immediately came with Garudas. Not only that, he left the Garuda, he ran away and rescued this Gajendra from the attack of crocodile. That was the magnanimity of the Lord. As soon as you call him with sincerity, he will come down and give protection. He will come out with all, no stone unturned by the Lord to save us. That was the promise of the Lord. Sakrideva prapanyasa tabasmiti yata cha chauchate dadami abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami vratamama. Chapter 2, Ramayana, Lord Ram say that if anyone who surrendered and he call out for surrender once even. I am duty, not only duty bound, I vow that I will protect him from all kind of fears. That is the promise Lord has given. Name bhakta pranasyati. So as soon as the Gajendra crying out helplessly, immediately he comes and protect. That is this thing. So the solution is here. It is said that we must have somebody who is more powerful than the crocodile of time. Who is more powerful than the crocodile of time? Everybody is under the influence of, under the subjugation of the crocodile of time. Whether one is a big personality, howsoever sophisticated, howsoever influencer he is. Abrahma bhuvana alaloka punaravartinna Arjuna. Abrahma bhuvana alaloka, up to Brahma loko, they are all under the influence of death. They are all under the influence of the irrepressible time, the crocodile of time. So they cannot. Only who is more powerful than time, that is Lord. That is Supreme Lord Krishna. Therefore Supreme Lord Krishna is very powerful, influential. He says, Kalosmi, I am the time. So he can help us, he can protect us. Just like he protected Draupadi. Draupadi was about to disrobe and she was trying to protect her by her strength, and also seeking help from all these so-called members of Kuru assembly, but nobody came forward to help, and she also could not help herself. But she finally, what she did, she raised his two hands, Oh Krishna, Hey Govinda, Hey Krishna, Hey Govinda. So Lord immediately supply unlimited quantity of cloth to protect his honor, protect her honor. That is a great dishonor. Actually, it is more dishonor than the death. That was the situation of Draupadi. But Lord came and protected. So we have to know that whom to call. First of all, later we should know three things. First, we should know the address, we should know the contents, and we should know we should have that sentiment, that mood, bhavagrahi. He is not namograhi, he is bhavograhi, Janardana. He knows our bhava. We should know address, whom to call. Gajendra did not call to the demigods. Although he indirectly called to the God, Lord, but he never called to the demigods. So therefore demigod did not come, understanding that it was not the address is not for us, address is for the Lord. So we must know that only person who can protect, that is called Mukunda, Supreme Lord God. Nobody can in this three world can protect us. Hari rakhe mare kiye, mare hari rakhe kiye. If Krishna wants to kill, nobody protect. Even Lord Shiva could not protect Ravana, his dearmost devotee. Even Brahma could not protect the Hiranyakasipu, even by giving his benediction. Now only Krishna is the Supreme Lord who can protect us. Therefore his name is Mukunda, who can protect us. Who protect us? Who? Therefore Krishna, when you call out Krishna, therefore he can protect us. Beautiful verses. In another verses also it is said that in 325:41, Bhagavatam, it is stated that the beautiful verses, this one. The terrible fear of birth and death can never be forsaken by anyone who resorts to any other shelter other than myself. For I am the Almighty Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original source of all creation, also the Supreme Soul of Soul. Terrible fear of death can never be forsaken by anyone who resorts to any other shelter other than myself. So only Krishna can help, nobody can. Yam Brahma Varunendra, therefore everybody is praying to the Lord. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Sunmanti Divyastabhya वेद संगे पाद पद कर्म उपनिषदार गायन्ति समागः ध्यान वशिष्ठ तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यम योगिना यस्सन्तने विदुसुरासनगणा देवै तस्मै नमः तस्मै नमः तस्मै नमः. So this is the Lord, Supreme Lord, where great personality like Brahma, Varuna, Rudra, Maruta, the Vedas, Vedanta, Upanishad, all they are praying, the yogis, the jnani, everybody is praying to the Supreme Lord, because He is only can protect us from this precarious, from death. Everybody therefore is praying for His protection. Ramasambhu Brahmarapati Ganesarchita Pado Jagannath Swami Nayanapado. He is Jagannath Swami. He is Jagannath, He is Lord of the universe. He is protector of whole universe. Therefore His name is Hari. Hari means who takes away, who plunders away, who takes away all our distress. Hari. So another beautiful verses in this regards, that how Lord is so only person who can protect us, and He is so merciful. Simply by calling once, He comes. Sakrideva prapannesa tavasmiti yaduchyate. Terrified, about to die, a man collapsed on his bed. Although his voice is faltering and he is hardly conscious of what he is saying, if he utters the holy name of Supreme Lord, he can be freed from the reaction of his filthy birth and achieve supreme destination. But still people in the age of Kali will not worship the Supreme Lord. See, this is this thing. It is given, a person about to die simply calls out Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Here it is said that in these beautiful verses that Supreme Lord